Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Paulo, and today we're going to be talking about digital transformation. Specifically speaking, I'm going to be focusing on two main points. Okay, so one is the impact on people, and the other one is the impact on revenue. And why is it that this is so important? Okay, so this is the third part of this series. If you did miss out on the previous two, feel free to check them out. I'm going to drop them on the comments below. So one is around best practice of implementation and how is it that you can make it a success. Then the other point that I'm referring to on one of the episodes is around this kind of paradigm between companies that are actually surviving versus others that are actually thriving. And why is it that this is happening within this challenging times, and what is the role of digital transformation within all of this? Okay, so on this specific topic, I've been working on it for over 10 years around analytics, MarTech, and sales tech and CRM across different countries and different companies. Okay. My main purpose is just to help out as much as I can. This is my contribution within this rough times, let's put it like that. Okay. So if you do enjoy this kind of topics, okay, give it a thumbs up and subscribe and join me on this journey. Okay. Happy to help. Let's go and let's check out what is it that we're going to be talking today. So one, as I said, is around people empowerment, and the other one is the impact on revenue. Okay, why is it that this is important, and why is it that I took the decision to put them within this episode? So the reason is that loads of companies actually do forget people. Okay, they think that digital transformation is only about technology. Let's put it like that. So, but it's actually not about technology. It's about strategy. It's about a business model. It's around people. It's around business transformation as a whole. Okay, digital transformation is around that. And also the other point, the reason why I'm adding revenue is because most companies are a bit unsure on how is it that I can calculate the ROI. Okay, so am I going to invest time? Am I going to invest money? How is it that I can calculate the ROI? Okay, I'm going to give you some examples around that. Okay, let's go into this. So people. Okay, why is it that this is so important? Uh, I'm going to cover two sides of the coin. Okay, so the positive side, let's say, and the so non so positive side of the coin. So a company that actually invests and focus on people, okay, will actually thrive and will go faster. Those that do not going to be having some challenges, I'm betting. Okay, so this is my experience that, and I've been working on a lot of this kind of projects. Okay, reason why I'm very confident on the reason of that I'm just explaining that people and the impact on people empowerment is so important. Okay, looking into this, what are the points that you should really take into consideration when you think people? Okay, so first thing, okay, change management, training and adoption. This is fundamental. Okay, I would say that this is so crucial in terms of the implementation and the success of any digital transformation, but also beyond that of any kind of business transformation, any kind of project. Okay, if you do not put on board people, if you do not take them on board, if you do not carry them and actually make them part of the project, make them part of the change, of the training and the adoption, how is it that we can improve on these points? What are your main pain points? What are the solutions for this? Then you're going to be struggling much more. Okay. So this is one very important reason why people should definitely be part of this. Okay, of this digital transformation. And this is also one of the reasons why this is important. It connects to the people empowerment within the title, is because if you actually invest on this, people will feel much more empowered and they will get, I do bet this with you, they will be happy to share ideas, happy to share solutions that they have, and then you can actually adapt your project accordingly. Okay, so the other point that you should consider with regards to people empowerment and why is it that digital transformation plays such a crucial role. Okay, so up to not so long ago, the conversation was heavily around location versus remote working. Okay, so most people needed to go into the big cities, like myself. Okay, to work on the big companies or on the most interesting companies, on the startups, etc. Okay. And then suddenly more and more companies and more people started to work on remote. Okay. And now, of course, with everything around Corona, it's this is like a question that no longer I would say it's important. And why? I think that as we stand right now, it's more than obvious. It's more than clear that it doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter where you stand. What is important is talent. Okay. So if you do invest on this kind of rationale, and that you do not force people actually to be at the office, that you have this kind of hybrid model, hybrid approach, or even allow them to actually just work remotely, you're going to feel and you're going to for sure you're going to have more talented people looking to work with you and for you, and this of course will have a knock-on effect, a positive effect within the company and a way of working. Then the other point that you should really consider, and this is not just for companies per se, but of course people that work within companies, people that have roles that drive change within the company. I think this is fundamental that you actually value what I'm going to say right now. Okay. Within this new world, let's say that we're living currently, there is one important thing that is a challenge. That is how to bring the company together, how to maintain the company culture. So within this, I would say that the solution, or one of the solutions for this, is around thinking on collaboration tools. Okay. This is where technology comes along as well, and this is where technology can actually enable and empower people. There are some solutions there, like for instance Slack, or for instance Yammer, and you have more solutions. Okay, Yammer is from Microsoft, but essentially, although they are slightly different kind of solutions, but they allow for chat, they allow for video, they allow for group conversations, they allow for people almost between brackets, they allow for people to actually to feel as they were at the office, bring people together and hold the culture together as well. Okay, so this is fundamental, and people actually do feel empowered because they can communicate, they can get easily enough in contact with whom they need to. They can have video conferences, everything on the same kind of platform or solutions. Okay. So the other point that I would say that is important, and what is the impact of digital transformation within people, it's around the technology in itself. Okay. So I've been talking about this point that, digital transformation is not about technology. It's much more about people. It's much more about strategy, about business model, and about customer, about data. But yeah, that is correct. But technology also plays a role. Okay. And the reason why it plays a role is because it allows for people actually to be much more free up of their common tasks. Okay. Technology can automate things. Technology can build workflows. Technology can facilitate a lot the work of people, and therefore can free them up to more creative and solution-driven kind of approach. Okay, reason why I'm mentioning that. The other point that I would say that is important when you measure the impact of digital transformation on people is around company performance. Okay, if you have highly motivated people, if you have people that feel enabled and empowered, honestly, you're going to have it for sure an impact on company performance, because people tend to go the extra mile. Okay. So in a nutshell, why is it that you should consider digital transformation in connection to people? Is because if you have them on your side, you're going to have a much faster, a much more smoother change management. You're going to have people that will adopt the new processes and technologies much faster. You're going to have access to the best talent. You're going to bring the company together. You're going to keep your company culture. You're going to have an impact on company performance, and also you're going to be up to a point where you stand that you're going to have much more impact on solutions. Talking about COVID, this is it, guys. So this is my boy. Yes, and he's raising me a question around technology. Okay. Thanks for that. Okay, that's it, guys. It's just the normal way of working, and this is what you should consider because more than ever, yeah, you are online, but at the same time, everyone there is kind of this mix between the two worlds. Okay, but in a nutshell, as I said, those are the things that you should consider. Okay, let's move forward to the impact on ROI. Okay, or the impact on revenue and how is it that you can measure your ROI. Instead of actually starting to build any kind of models around this and how to measure actually, what I'm going to give you is four examples of companies that actually invested on digital transformation and had a massive impact on revenue growth. Okay, and this hopefully will resonate. Okay, and will give you some inspiration on how you can actually do it at your own company, and how is it that you as an individual can actually be a driver of change as well. So let's start with Microsoft. So Microsoft took them roughly 5 years, okay, and at the very start what they decided was that, and also just to mention, they after this 5 years they had an impact on 23% on their revenue. Okay, so they have now 23% more revenue than they had before. Okay, so what is it that Microsoft took into consideration? They took people into consideration. How is it that they can facilitate their lives? Okay, they took into consideration everything around also their business model and their strategy. Okay, and those are some of the things that I already mentioned that is important for you to take into consideration because technology it's an enabler of change. Okay, as examples, so they focus on transforming their product lines. Okay, they are now selling. Of course, they went to the cloud. They embraced the cloud. They also so moving away, let's say from let's say in store or in place, but also moving much more into the cloud. Also, the other thing that they've done, so it's they created products like Office 365 that are cloud based. Um, Also, they started to have this much stronger partnerships with different companies. They did not have this before. Like they started to have a very strong partnership, for instance, with Salesforce. That is a company that up to a certain point was a kind of arch enemy of Microsoft on the CRM space. And then the outcome of all of this was actually 22% of increase on revenue. Okay. Another good example of this is Nike. Okay, so they invested 2 years, and they are still ongoing in terms of digital transformation, and they had an uplift of 14% in terms of their revenue. What was their focus? They focus on the product in itself. They focus on the e-commerce side of things, on bridging the gap between the company and the end customer. They focus on omni-channel marketing, meaning how is it that I can actually reach out to the customer on different touch points and making sure that they have the same kind of experience. And they focus a lot on how is it that I can harness this relationship that I have with the customer, this data that I'm getting from the customer, transform that into insights and turn them into brand new shoes, brand new products that actually can allow me to sell more and be much more productive and efficient on the way that I do approach the market. And the other thing that I also done was to invest on a different way of engaging from a social perspective, social media that is, and the outcome of all of this, as I mentioned, was 14% improvement on revenue. Okay. The other example is Home Depot. Okay. What is it that Home Depot done? So they invested 2 years on digital transformation, and they had an outcome of 15%. Okay, 1.5. What is it that they've done? So they invested on shifting their stores. Okay, on the way the stores were actually build up, investing much more on bridging the gap between the physical stores and the online stores, building a strong platform of e-commerce, okay, so that would allow them to sell more, revisiting completely their legacy systems and investing much more and in much more stronger IT background, but also much stronger applications, so that this would allow them to move forward. And also, what they've done is they invested a lot on the marketing side of things with also omni-channel presence. They invested a lot on rethinking their business model per se, and investing much more on the e-commerce side of things. Okay, the outcome was 15% more revenue. Okay, then last but not least, a company that invested, 7 years on digital transformation. Okay, but had an outcome of 20% of improvement on their revenue. So we are talking about a toys company that decided to do a swap, a change in terms of their strategy, their mindset, their main target audience, because they were focusing mostly on kids, okay? And then they took a decision, strategic decision, actually to invest much more on adults, okay? Building games for adults, rethinking the way that they were doing their omni-channel approach. So as said, touching different or understanding the different touch points where the customer exists, and making sure that you can connect to the customer across those different channels and give them the same kind of experience. So they invested a lot on that. They rethink completely their business model. They rethink their target audience. They still do it for kids, but yeah, adults are now part of the game as well. So they invested much more on gaming, but also they keep the toys part, but much more on gaming. And all of this different mindset allow them, and strategy allow them to have an output of 20%. Okay, what is then common on all those four? It's about people. Okay, it's about technology, of course, but it's about strategy. It's about rethinking the business model. It's around thinking, how is it that I can have an expansion of my revenue streams? How is it that I can actually even find out new revenue streams, okay, that would allow at the end to have more growth. But there is also some other points that underlie all of this and connect all of them. So the other point is around analytics, okay, data. How is it that I can actually make sure that I have access to that? Technology, people, strategy. Those are the main things that come across all these companies, that allow them then to rethink their product and to rethink how is it that I can have more revenue streams or even enhance the current revenue streams. The output of all of this is success. Okay, so this is it, guys. Hopefully this was an interesting session. Feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions whatsoever with regards to digital transformation. Happy to help out. Okay, if you do like this kind of content, feel free to give it a thumbs up, and please do subscribe and join me on this journey. Okay, take care. Cheers, and happy life.